Unless you've been living under a rock, you've most likely heard of the new weapon that's coming to Minecraft, the Mace. You can basically call it the new most overpowered weapon in Minecraft because you can literally one-shot a warden with it. Now it is already in the latest snapshots and will be released with the 1.21 update this year, but you can't really have mods in snapshot versions because most mod creators wouldn't port their mods into snapshots. So what if we wanted to try out the maze on modded mobs? From this classic mod that introduces mutant zombies, if you remember that, to this giant abomination. And that is why we got the Mace Port mod, which is basically just a mod to port the maze into versions where mods exist. Alright, let's start off with the first mod. Friends and Foes. Remember all those mobs that just ceased to exist from the game just because they lost a silly mob world? Like the Iceologer, the Rascal, and so on. Now the reason why I added this mod is not to test the maze out on our little copper golem friend here, but to test it on mobs like the Master of Blazes, the Wildfire. If you remember this guy, it lost the very first mob vote, which is a shame because I would much rather prefer this than those annoying phantoms. Oh, and I also installed the mod Mobplex to help me see the health bar of these mobs. And as you can see here, the Wildfire has exactly 120 hearts. Just for reference, the Ender Dragon has 200. That being said, the Wildfire has 4 shields surrounding it with 8 hearts each. And no matter how much damage you do in a hit, it'll only destroy 1 shield at a time, which means you'll need to get through all 4 shields until you can strike the final blow. And that final blow would take 26 blocks in height to finish it off with the maze. The next mod would be Mutant Monsters. I actually wanted to find out if the maze could one-shot these freaks due to how overpowered they are. Now I can't get the Mobplex health bars to work with this mod, but by the amount of hits it took with a netherite sword on them, they should have about 200 health. Sounds like a lot as it is the health of an ender dragon, not to mention how absolutely insane they are when it comes to fighting them. But with the maze, as long as you are 32 blocks above them, you can indeed defeat them in one hit. At this point, my goal is not really to see if the maze could one-shot everything, but rather just to show you guys these cool boss mobs. Which leads us to the next mod, Plenty of Golems. Now, I absolutely love this mod because as the name says, it adds a whole bunch of golems. From golems like piston golems to TNT golems. And since the warden can already be one-shot, what about this warden golem? Well, the warden has 2 times its health, so not a chance. That being said, this mod is still a super fun mod. After that, we have a really popular mod, the Ice and Fire mod, which is a mod that adds these baby dragons to giant dragons, which are tameable and rideable, of course. The most health these guys can go up to is 500 health, just like the warden, but it does have 21 armor points, which is about a set of netherite armor. And of course, we can one-shot it with the maze. Finally, we have this abomination called the Witherstorm mod. And just take a look at it being summoned. It's basically a nightmare storm that flies in the sky and suck up chunks and chunks of blocks into it. Yeah, a maze is not doing anything to that. Anyways, that should be all for this video. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe. I think we can all agree that the maze is way too broken now. All the mods mentioned are in the description, by the way. And until next time, goodbye.